I'm Parker, and this is Parker's Pantry, and I'm going to be making Lochness monster cupcakes. This recipe comes from the Nerdy Nummies cookbook. It has some great recipes that are lots of fun to do alone or with a parent or friend. I'll have the recipe and link in the video description below. So my first step for making the cupcakes is to get used to the recipe and prepare my workspace. Be sure to get all of your ingredients, pots and pans, and utensils ready to go. It will make the baking process much easier. If a parent or friend is helping, that's always more fun too. This step also includes preheating the oven to 325 degrees. The cupcakes have three main parts: the cake, the icing, and the Lochness monster. So step 2 is to make the cupcakes. So let's make the cupcake batter. And when you do it, you want to make sure you level it so it's even. And if you don't have enough, just scoop up some more, and it's fine if it falls off. And then put in cocoa powder.
What type of measuring cup are you using?
A dry measuring cup.
And why do you use a dry one?
Because when you use a wet one, there's a difference. One dry cup doesn't equal to one wet cup.
Good. What happens if you have too much cocoa?
It's too chocolatey.
Is there such a thing as too much chocolate?
Yes. 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
1 teaspoon? Okay, so we're gonna make sure that's a teaspoon.
Yep, it says down there.
Perfect.
1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And salt. And we're gonna use iodized salt because it's thinner than kosher salt.
So, how much sugar do we need?
1/3 of a cup of
Granulated.
sugar.
So, same amount of sugar as you need flour.
Yep. One cup of sugar. What's important with brown sugar, you have to, if you put it in a measuring cup, you have to pack it in with your fingers, so it stays all together. And never think about trying to eat the cocoa powder. It's not sweet at all. And then we're gonna whisk it together. Until it's well combined. And then you're gonna set it aside so you can do your wet ingredients. And it says to do it in a medium bowl, but we're gonna do it in a mixer to make it easier. When you use mixer, to not mix it for too long, make sure you lock it when you put it down. And at first, when you first put your dry ingredients in, don't turn it on high because then it goes all in your face. So first, we're gonna crack the eggs in this bowl, in here first, and then put them in there to make sure that we don't have any eggshells. I'm going to be using 4 eggs to make my batter. And you want to make sure that you wash your hands after you crack the eggs. And now I'm going to put eggs in. teaspoons of vanilla. 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. But we're going to be using plain Greek yogurt since we didn't have any sour cream. And when you put something in that's heavy, you need to put it closer to the bottom. Put it in closer to the bottom so it doesn't splash. I'm gonna put 1/4 of a cup of oil in. There, that's enough. Put it in there. Lock it, turn it on low. Once you put it in there and you start mixing it at first, you can mix it at first and then put it on a little higher and then put it on a little higher. But you don't need to go like full speed.
Okay.
I'm gonna scrape it off. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the bowl and I'm going to use the whisk and make a hole in the middle so we can pour the wet ingredients in.
Do you know why we pour wet into dry versus dry into wet?
So it doesn't clump. So now I've made a well, and I'm going to take this off so I can pour the wet ingredients into the well.
Here, you need an extra pair of hands.
And when you stir, when you pour it in, you want to start stirring so it still doesn't clump.
Use those muscles.
We're gonna use an ice cream scoop because it's easier. We're gonna scoop it in, and maybe 1 or 2 scoops, most likely 1.
And why do you not want to fill it so high?
You don't want to fill it high because the cupcakes rise when you bake them, and if you fill it too high, it's gonna overflow. And you want to try not to make any drips on the side of the pan, because then they will burn. So what you want to do is you want to take a paper towel and you want to wet it so you can just wipe down the tray. Make sure there are no batter left on, because then it will burn. So then you're going to tap it to make sure there are no air bubbles in it. Now that the cupcake mix is ready, step 3 is to bake the cupcakes. Put them in the oven. If you don't want to you're scared of being burned on the hot oven, you can always ask your parents or anybody who's there to put it in. You're supposed to bake it and then for 35 to 40 minutes, and when the timer goes off, you can stick a wooden pick in the middle of the cupcake to make sure that it's done. And if it comes out clean, it's done. If it comes out with dough on it, it still needs to cook for a little bit longer. While the cupcakes are baking, we can now begin to make the Lochness monster, which is step 4. This will be fun working with fondant. It's something I've never done. And so fondant is basically a thing that you put on cake, and it's made out of marshmallows, confectioner's sugar, warm water, and that's it. For Christmas, I got every single fondant tool in the world that I've ever seen. I mean, I have never used any of these before. So there's what fondant looks like. Smells like marshmallows. It's rock hard. Can't get it out. Yeah.
Okay. So
Easy to use, huh?
there.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh, the bottom's soft.
There you go.
It's just the top is rock hard. So now I'm trying to roll the fondant out.
Use those muscles. Do you need mommy muscles? Let's see.
I need. Found some.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh,
Let's do blue and green.
Yeah, let's do blue and green toothpicks. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have our toothpicks out here. So we're gonna save those for later once we've done it, because we're going to stick them into the cupcakes. I'm just trying to knead it a little bit more so it's a little softer.
Is it like Play-Doh?
Sort of like an oily version of Play-Doh. Put that down there on the bottom to make the bottom flat. Like that. And curve. You want to curve the front part of it to make it look like the Lochness is poking its head out. Stuck the toothpick in, and now I'm going to use one of my tools. The little line there, and then make a smile. Make a little line there, and then I'm going to make a little hole. Right about there for the eye. Mine's a happy little Lochness monster. So now I'm going to make the first part of the body. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll it out and make a curve. And then you're going to take 2 toothpicks and stick them in, and then the tail of the Lochness monster. So we're basically making it like the head. We're going to curve it, but we're not making a head on it. Just curving, making it like that, and a little bit of a curve. So I'm going to cut it so they're all in one line, and I'm not cutting them out to make it easier. And so what you're going to do is when you put them on, you're going to take the piece, and just dab your finger in the water. You're gonna get a little cup of water, dab your finger in it, and just put it on the piece of fondant. And there, fondant should stick. There.
So we're gonna let that set up and get firm. We're gonna let our cupcakes to cool down, and then we'll put it all together with the buttercream icing.
Who wants to make some icing? This part is easy and quick. Our cupcakes have baked and cooled, and we have our Lochness monster pieces. Now we're gonna make the frosting. And so with the frosting, you can either buy it or make it. And how you make it is butter, convection or sugar, and cream or water or whatever you want to put in it, and then you mix it together, and then you put it in your piping bag and you pipe it on your cupcakes or cake. I'm making my icing blue so it looks like the water on the cupcakes, and then I'm going to use blue sanding sugar to make it look like wave. And you don't really have to measure how much you want to put on there, unless you don't want to have extra. But who wouldn't want to have extra frosting? Because you could just eat it. Make sure you always wear an apron so it doesn't get on your clothes. And you can always add more, but you can't take any out.
Does it look like water yet?
No,
Okay.
it still looks like a sky.
Right.
So we need to add some more blue to it.
Perfect.
You need to add lots of blue to the frosting if you want it to be darker. Step 6 is to put the icing and monster on the cupcakes.
Fold it over.
Fold it over
And why do we do this again?
so it doesn't go everywhere when you put it in.
Good idea. All right. So
Then
we're gonna
take
try.
the spoon and you're gonna put it in the bag.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
Coming off there.
That's okay. Do more. Okay. Keep going.
And then you're going to twist it. And you can choose which icing tip you want because there are all different types of them that you can use. And I chose this green one, and it has like spikes on it. Just want to go around the edge first and don't push too hard or else it will squirt everywhere. Just sprinkle it on top.
How much do you put on it?
I meant however much you want. Now my fingers are blue. You're gonna, oh boy. You're gonna poke
Stick
it
all the way
down into the middle and just set them there on the top. The first hump right there, poke it down there. Then you're gonna take the side, poke it down, just scooch them closer together there, and then you're gonna take the tail piece. There, done. Wait, there's one more step. Time to eat.
I think it looks fabulous.
I
How's it taste, do you think? I think you should eat that one over there.
this one.
I think so. There's nothing on it.
Okay.
How do you eat the cupcake? How do you eat your cupcake?
I eat the frosting off and then I eat the cupcake. Oh, that's sweet. The frosting is really sweet.
Okay, what's your finding?
Pretty good. Could use a bit more sugar. Yeah. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think after you make your Lochness monster cupcakes. And always take time to lick the spoon.